You grace me with the opportunity to go to camp each summer. I go to adult conference in June, and I lead not on my own behalf, but on your behalf. And last week I was down at Camp Christian for advanced conference, which truly is one of those places where I am fed as much, if not more, than I give to help feed and nurture others. A wonderful week. It's the young adult camp, so folks between the ages of 19 and 29 gather, and our theme this last week was Transform the Now. Transform the Now. And somehow they gave me the theme for my keynote on Wednesday, Lamentations. And I have to tell you, it was a real challenge for me to come up with how Lamentations transform the now for young adults. But I did it, or at least I tried. But one of the things I was reminded this last week is the power of music in our lives, and the power of songs to really transform us in the moment. Somewhere in middle week, I looked at the scriptures for the very first time that we were going to be looking at for this Sunday. And I swear to you, I did not plan this. This is the lectionary text for today. The words that Jake read that said, "Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs of the Spirit." So I thought to myself, we ought to sing hymns today. So that's what we're going to do. And what I decided, and I hope you all go along with this, is we're going to sing just a few hymns that are absolutely my favorite. Those hymns that bring joy to my life and help transform me just by the singing of them. But I'm not selfish enough or narcissistic enough to think that only my songs are the ones that transform people. So that's why you have cards. I want you, while we're going through this and we're flipping through the hymnal, for you to write down your favorite hymns. And what we're going to do is we're going to collect them at the end of the service, so I and the worship staff can be singing the kind of hymns that you all like. If there's a hymn that's not in our hymn book, write it down as much as you know. If you know the title but you can't seem to find it in the hymn book, write it down. It does help if you write the number. So that would be great. So without further ado, what I'll do is I'll introduce a hymn and tell you just a little bit about why I've chosen it, and then we'll sing it. Does that sound good? Okay, great. What's it? Oh, I guess I should have my hymn book. Let me look at each one and see. Okay, the first one we're going to look at is 245. Number 245, like the murmur of a dove song. I chose this one for two reasons. Number one is, of all three members of the Holy Trinity, I have to tell you that I connect with the Holy Spirit as much as the other three. The Holy Spirit doesn't get her or his due or its due all the time. And so this is a song about the Holy Spirit using the image of the dove. I think all three is okay with this one? Yeah. And the other reason I chose this one, personal connections with songs are great. You know, sometimes they were sung at your father's funeral. Sometimes, that is what was sung the day you joined church or something like that. Well, if you look down to see who wrote the music, who was the composer, Peter Cutts. Peter Cutts was a professor at Andover Newton Seminary, where Craig, my partner, went to seminary, and he actually played the organ for our Holy Union on June 2nd of 1990. So Peter is a dear friend of ours, and it's so nice to be able to sing a song that he wrote the music to. So, we'll stay seated through the time. So let's sing like the murmur of the dove song.
Like the child
Such a beautiful new hymn. It is really very lyrical and it touches my soul. A second song, it's number 452, Here I Am, Lord, 452. You can be thinking how many verses you want to know that one, okay? The reason I picked this one, there's a whole series of, now Jim, you can correct me, but in the 80s and 90s, there was really a growth of music in the Catholic tradition. In the 70s. No, I probably couldn't even look down here and see that. Anyway, and a hymn book came out from GIA Publications that I happen to have on my shelf that has this kind of amazing multiplication of hymns in the Catholic tradition that really have a particular kind of tonality and a particular kind of use of words and things that have touched my spirit. This is one of those that I think came out of that tradition, and of course it's a call narrative from Isaiah, but it invites all of us to consider our call to ministry. And of course I have such an emphasis, our congregation has such an emphasis of all of us being ministers of Christ, and as some of us are called to particular kinds of ministries like elders, deacons, trustees, pastors. So when we sing this, I want to think to yourself your calling. And we actually use this at Camp Christian on Friday night when the new officers were called to be chosen that evening. So
that's in verses 1 and 3. Verses 1 and 3.
1 and 3. Perfect. Thank you. Maybe we should reverse it and have the congregation up there and the choir out here because we have somebody in the choir. There we go. Okay, the next one is 526. I'll let you pick the verses. 526, the gift of love. As I said before, oftentimes it's a personal connection that makes hymns really special. This has a very personal connection for me. When I was in middle school, that's when I started being a part of choir in my middle school. And the very first summer, my middle school teacher invited a group of us that I guess she thought we had particular gifts, or at least whatever she thought. She invited us to go to choir camp that summer, and I went to West Texas State University for choir camp. It was the very first time I had been outside of my home for a week period. And one of the anthems we sang was Hal Hobson's The Gift of Love. And to this day, I could sing it to you based on learning it that summer at that camp. Well, whenever the Chalice hymnal came out, I think back in '92, and I was flipping through it, I almost fell over, shocked that this childhood song of mine had been created into a hymn. Now, I won't tell you which one came first, the hymn or the anthem, but it's here. Plus, it's such a beautiful setting of 1 Corinthians 13. So, what verses shall we sing?
It's short. Let's do all three.
Let's do all three. Okay, The Gift of Love, 5, 2, 6. arrangement of it. It's an English melody. I invite you to turn to number 614. I'm going to live so God can use me, 614. A uniquely American music art form is the spiritual, the African American or Negro spiritual. And I'm really appreciative of the Chalice hymnal and some of the newer hymnals that really worked to get some of those into our hymn book. Of course, so many of them came out of the slave tradition, the horror of slavery, and slaves attempting to find some sense of peace and faith in the midst of an otherwise really tragic situation. And so the whole movement from bondage to freedom, which many, many people around the world have experienced, I tap into because of my own story. And I think each of us look at it from our own vantage point, for all of us are in bondage in one way, shape, or form. So I thought a good representative one that we might be able to get a little energy on, and who knows, we might even clap a little bit, is I'm going to live so God can use me. Now you'll notice this is one of those hymns where it's repeated so much, but there is a change with different verses. So which one should we do?
1 and 4.
1 and 4. So I'm going to live, and then I'm going to sing. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna live so God So we're going to go ahead. Should we go ahead and do this game? Last one? That's what we're good for? Okay. That is to say, I have a list here of about 25,000 other ones. So I think we're going to stick with the ones I gave our music team. And we're going to end with number 433. Jump back to 433. Blessed be the tie that binds. I grew up in First Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, in Roswell, New Mexico. That was the church that my mother chose. When the Baptist church she went to, no one said hello to her, and she was determined never to walk through the doors of that church again. And our cousins invited my mom across the street from where my mom worked, the hospital, said, come to our church, First Christian. It's got a good children's program, and my brother and I were young at that point, so we went there. But every single Sunday, I attended that church. This is the song that we concluded with. And while I have mixed feelings about that congregation, we have a little different relationship nowadays than when I was a teen. Nonetheless, I have great memories of the very good people that sang and lived and worshipped and prayed in that congregation. So let us sing together as kind of a closing hymn for this time period. Blessed be the tie that binds. I love the fact that Ephesians talks about very, very serious things. How do you live? Be wise and not unwise. Make the most of every opportunity. And then how do you do that? Sing. 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 And whether you sing with your voice and a melody or you sing with the way you live your life, sing. Let us sing to the glory of God and to the joy of God's people. I hope you've been working on your cards. I'm going to have a basket back with me. Even if you have one or two, drop them in, and you can always tweet, Facebook message, email, call, U.S. Postal Service, or you can even drop by to tell me a song or a hymn that you'd like to sing sometime in the future. So this isn't the last chance you get to offer those. So as we conclude our service, I want to invite anyone who has a song in their heart but is looking for a place to sing it. If you know a song that you have heard from one known as Jesus Christ, but you have never really received that song into your heart, now is the time. And I invite all of us to stand and sing our final hymn, which is different. Which is number 7. Stand as you are able and sing to the glory of God. And those who would like to come forward, please do so at this time.